Welcome back to another episode on Solent Warrior. Finally, we are back out on the boat after weeks and weeks of hideous weather. But we've had a bit of a nightmare this morning. Roll that clip. That's not what you want to see in the morning. Completely frozen up. Woo! This is exactly what you need. -3, just come down here. Got all the rods ready. Sent the engine in. Dead battery won't start. I may have left this on, possibly. I don't know, with my cabin lights on, I assume. But we're gonna have to try and find a jump pack. Try and get this jumped. And then stay semi-local for the minute until we know that these batteries are charging properly, because once they're dead, sometimes this could be a bit of a problem. I might need 2 new batteries. Fuck. Managed to get a battery pack, got it jumped, and we've got engine going. Yes, yeah, dead batteries, but we're back out on the water. I managed to borrow a jump pack off one of the lads in the marina, and I've got it going. I've got 14 volts, so I'm charging quite nicely. But what I am going to do is scupper the first plan, which was to go off around the back of the island and anchor some wrecks for some big congers and try and avoid the dogfish. Sort this sun out, shall we? There we go. But I'm a little bit worried. I'm going to get all the way around there, and when I go to start the engine, I'm going to have dead batteries. So what I'm going to do is I am going to run the boat for about half an hour up and down, and then go back into a safe haven, turn the engines off, see what we got going on. If we're good, then we'll get out into the Solent and we'll try and avoid some dogfish. See if we can get some big congers, see if we can maybe find a cod or a ray. That's the plan. But like I said, I'm going to have to run this for half an hour or so, make sure we're safe, because I don't want to be out here in -3 with a dead boat. Let's get going. I'm giving it a good run, because there's no way I'm going offshore if I'm going to sit at anchor for the morning and then realise that the battery's dead. What I've done is I've disconnected one battery, so this is fully charging one battery, just in case we've got a battery that is that's dead, basically. So I'm going to do about a 5 or 6 mile run on the first battery. Then I'm going to reconnect the second battery, disconnect the first battery, and run on that for another 5 miles. And I've got a little gauge down here telling me that I'm getting a good 14 volts. But we're not going offshore today, that's for sure. So when we're on revs, the alternator, which is this here, is getting 14.5. Now we're just ticking over 13.5. Right, well, I've come to a very, very local mark. This is going to be a dogfish day. I will try this. This is the mark, the only mark in the Solent that I think should hold some big congers and less dogfish. So I'm anchored in 70 foot of water at the moment, in a very, very safe area. There is no shipping lane, there is no through traffic here. So where I am at the moment is very, very safe. I'm going to turn the engine off. That is engine off. Started on the first key. Right, so I'm quietly confident we've charged both batteries. What I will do while I'm sat here, I'm not going to have any charts on, I'm not going to have any fish finder on. The boat is going to be completely turned off while I'm sat here. I've got a handheld radio. I've got a PLB, which I'll be putting on in a minute with my life jacket. I'm quietly confident I'm safe where I am. So, let's get that off. Let's get that off. And let's do some fishing. I'm just going to run through what I'm going to be doing. So, the mark I'm fishing, like I said, tell you what, let's put that one down for a minute. The mark I'm fishing should hold big conger. So it's big baits in the hope we can find some. Now, there's all the chance here of a 50, 60 pound conger. So I don't want to lose that by biting me off. So I'm fishing. It's a running ledger. So you've got a locked in lead in about 2.5 foot of line, and that is 150 pound mono. That runs down to a wire trace with a circle hook. Noisy plane. There is no conger that will bite through that ever. So what I'm going to do, while I've been mooching around, I've just been thawing out some baits. I'm going to stick 2 squid on this line on a circle hook. So that last one will just be knocked on like that and then pulled down. The reason I want to use a circle hook in there is because we want that to be hooked in the mouth and not gobbled down. So that's the first bait going down. I've also brought mackerel and bluey with me because big congers do like a fish bait. Like I said, where we're fishing in the Solent, I was hoping to go around the back of the island. But that is a poor decision when you're not 100% sure of your boat. So, staying in the Solent, where I've got friends out on boats and we're safe, we've got sea start, I wouldn't suggest doing this. These batteries are going to be replaced this week, because generally when a battery goes dead, it can sometimes not hold full charge. So I'll get the rest of these rods set up. We're going to go through it as we do it. Hopefully, there's always a chance of a cod here, always a chance. But it is the Solent, so let's be honest, it's going to be dogfish. Now this is the second bait to go down. We've got a pound lead and we've got a whole mackerel, again on wire, and it's on some heavy mono. Like I said, we're fishing in about 70 foot here, so this should hold all sorts of bits and bobs as well. I am going to put a scratching rig down. I'm going to put a scratching rig down with some little strips of squid and fish on a nice light rod like this. This is just a little 8 to 14 pound Rovex cheap kayak rod with an old vintage reel on it. Because if I can find some whiting or pout, if there's small fish here, there'll be big fish here. So if I can find a couple of live baits, maybe a couple of little whiting or a couple of little pout, one of these rods get brought straight in, live bait straight on, because if there's cod and big congers down there, even big bass, they will be searching for them whiting and pout this time of year. The water temperature has dropped right out. Generally, when the water temperature drops like that, all the bass that are feeding up on the top on all the white bait will come right down in the bottom into the slightly warmer water, and they'll start getting their nose in around reef and wreck and sort of broken ground, and they'll stop sort of feeding pelagically. So as soon as them whiting turn up, then bass will switch straight onto them. And that's the bait that I've put down for maybe a pout or a whiting on a little size 3.0. Just a little scratch. Now that will also pick up dogfish and anything else really that's down there. We might still see the odd summer species, but very doubtful. So what I've done is I've sent them a bit further, this rod a bit further back than the two big baits, because over the next 15-20 minutes I'll get a scent trail going. So that should get found by the smaller fish that are picking up all the little bits of morsels that are coming off the big baits. They'll sit right back, generally. That's how I like to think about it. When I'm fishing, I'm always trying to picture what's going on down there. So when I'm fishing two big baits, I know there's going to be, you know, dogfish or congers ripping up them baits. And there'll be little bits of bobs and morsels drifting back. Now the smaller fish are going to sit right back in the tide, picking up them little bits and bobs. So if you're going to try and catch a smaller fish, send that scratching rod a little bit further than what you've got your big baits, and it should be in line with all the bits and bobs that are coming off the big baits. That's how I look at it anyway. So we're picking up a bite on a scratching rod already. And it feels like exactly what I thought it would be as well. Like I said, we are probably going to be fighting through these for most of the day. Once we've got that scent trail going, I'm hoping we can find something a little bit different. Oh, there you go. That is on the big rod. Whatever's picked that up, swum back to the boat with it a little bit, which is a good sign. That could be a big conger, but it's not on there yet, so I'm just going to leave it for a minute. And for the last rod we're sending out, I've just put on a little boomed rig with a couple little strips of mackerel, and that's just going to sit underneath the boat. And I hope we pick up some pout and whiting on that as well. So I've covered all areas here. I've got one scratching rod at distance, two big baits in the... What sort of ground is that? We're in very soft ground right underneath the boat here. I can feel that with my lead. It's stuck in the ground. So it's not sand we're on. We've got a big bank in front of me, and it goes from 38 foot and it drops right down to 70. So I'm sat right on the edge of that cliff. That's where I'd imagine any big congers to be sort of patrolling, be along that big cliff, looking for small fish hiding up at the tide. That ain't a conger, I can tell you that for nothing. Unbelievable. Completely mashed. My mackerel head bait. It wasn't even hooked, it was just holding on. That's how greedy they are. This time of year, the ground will be littered with dogfish. It's a tough time of year for fishing. We're just coming into the winter season. There is the odd cod coming out here and there, but this time of year, the dogfish go absolutely mental. So, I mean, we fished the other night. I managed 2.5 hours. We must have had 30 dogfish, so I binned it off. We just couldn't get through them. But there is a chance in amongst all them dogfish you'll find something special. So sometimes it is worth sticking it out, especially on a day like this. It's glorious out here. Can't go wrong. Even if I do catch dogfish all day, it speaks work, doesn't it, eh? That scratching rod's having a little go. I've got something on. Doesn't feel like a whiting, mind you. Another. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to get through them, but we're going to power on and hope that we do find something a bit bigger here. Should be rays here, should be congers, and the outside chance of that cod, like we said. Starting to get a few rattles on these. That looks, normally takes about 15-20 minutes to get a nice scent trail going. Once you have got that scent trail going, generally you'll start picking up the other species. The dogfish will always be first, mind you. Right, that's not what we want on the scratching rod. Don't know what this is, but it's definitely not a dogfish. It's turning into a dog. Well, I don't know. Surely dogfish ain't going to take line. I'm going to call conger. But it is a very small scratching rod. Here he comes. try very carefully to get this in. Now that is not what I expected on the conger, on the scratching rig. Just hooked in the nose. That is a massive old thornback ray. Can you hear him grind in his mouth? And I don't know if you can see this on the camera, but he's got, let me turn him around a little bit. He's got a leech, a marine leech on here, so we'll get rid of that for him. Dirty, horrible things. Now this, you can tell it's a thornback because the amount of thorns this thing has got on its back. This is about, I don't know, it's about 8 pounds, maybe 9. You can tell it's a female because it doesn't have any claspers, and you've got to keep your hands away from that mouth. They've got a protruding mouth with crushing plates, and when it pulls back, it'll rip your fingers apart. Try and get him to open his wings up. But like I said, you fight through them dogfish, you can find some semi-decent fish. All right, let's get a release on him without dropping the camera. He's just gonna sulk off. When there's not a great deal of tide, them rays generally do just sulk. So he'll sink down for a couple of seconds until he realises he's been released, and then he'll start swimming. But they're not harmed or anything like that. That was nice on a scratching rod though. Could have taken one of the other baits, mind you. With the ray that sort of size and the line size I've got on that scratching rig, if that was hooked in the mouth, when he's got them crushing plates coming back and forth, good chance he'll bite you off. But that was quite lucky, it was just hooked right in its snout with its nose. You know what would bring a proper bite on? Let's get that stove going and get a cheese toastie on the go, because you can't not while you're out here on a day like this. Now while that's cooking away, there's a good chance, if you're a fisherman, you'll know this, as soon as you sit down with a cup of coffee or a bit of lunch, wallop, rod will go straight over and spoil your lunch, or make your lunch, however you consider it. Yes, lads. God, I might need that to cool down a little bit. Coffee's on now. God, that gas is just running out. We might get a coffee out of that, but we've definitely got a nice warm cheese toastie. Just checking the baits every now and then, and they are getting ripped apart, so there is likelihood there's small fish down there ripping it all apart, because I'm not indicating a bite. So I'm a bit surprised we haven't found some whiting on this little scratching rod yet. Never mind, eh? Right, we've just had enough gas to get the coffee going. But yeah, I'll put about, we don't have a spoon. So I just tipped the coffee in. I've got about 10 coffees worth in this. Keep us awake. Right, finally, on the scratching rod, we've got ourselves a whiting by the feel of it. Oh, it's perfect. Perfect size for what we need. Right. That is a whiting. If you're not from the UK, it's part of the cod family. Part of the cod family. What I'll do, just to get myself bucket of water, just pop him in there for a minute, and I'll fish these baits out that I've got on at the moment. When they come in for refreshing, I'll get a whiting on one of them. We should get a nice big fish on one of them. What I'll do is I'll put a couple of strips of squid on it. Well, I've got this up. Still got a little bit of fish on them. So I'll just pop an extra little bit of squid on each one. So if we can get a few of them, then we'll be laughing. Not to mention, if we start picking up ones that are decent size, they can come home. Whiting are a delicious fish to eat. Now, I much prefer them to cod. Cod's a bit of a prize catch these days because they're so rare. It's a bit of a, I don't know, you hunt them because they're hard to catch. But if I'm going to go for a feed, if I had the choice, a couple of big whiting, I'd pick over cod any day. I can't sit on my hands. So what I've done is I've made my shock leader a lot longer. Sorry, my hook length a lot longer. And I've put a circle hook on. And that's just going to go through its nose. Oh, tell you what, no it's not. It's going to go through the top of his mouth. Just like that. Not so far back that it goes through its brain. I've put a lot lighter lead on. So that whiting can swim around freely. Pretty much lost the tide at the moment, so it's not the ideal time to put live bait down. But the longer he's in that bucket, the less he's going to perform for me. Can't be nice if a big old bass picks that up. Or a cod. Tell you what, now that sun's right up, it's getting warm, especially with the amount of clothes I've got on today. You wouldn't believe how many clothes I've got on. Oh, right, we're getting spikes all over the place. Right, we've got a bite and scratch and rig, which feels like a dogfish. The lead's come back with a lot of mud on them, so we're definitely fishing a very silty, muddy bottom here. I think that's probably why we're picking up rays. And generally, where you get rays, you get dogfish. They'll feed on very, very similar grounds. It's getting so warm out here, I've had to strip off even more clothes. Really lost tide now, we're starting to swing round all over the place. So we'll probably give it another 10-15 minutes here, and then I'm going to go to another mark. Fish the slack tide into the flood, or into the ebb rather, on a slightly different mark. Because at the moment we're fishing down the edge of a cliff. Once I've swung round, I'm going to be up on the shallow ground. So we want to pull anchor. In fact, I've probably got another 5 minutes here, and then we'll pull anchor. Right, but we've had a move. I've kept that whiting alive. What I've done is I've positioned myself over a broken up wreck. So I'm in 91 foot of water here. I'm not sure I've got any tide yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait to see how we sit on this anchor, because we've got a few other boats around us. Now the first thing is first, when you're out on the boat, is it's courtesy of people that are already anchored. So if you've got 2 people anchored and they're about to swing round in the tide, don't position yourself right behind them, because they're going to swing back and they're going to be fishing on your anchor. So what I've done is I've come in, there's a big drop off and there's a couple of broken up wrecks. It's a bit of rough ground, so if there's any big bass or conger, they'd like to be in this area. So I've made sure I position myself when any of these other boats swing round in the tide, because it looks like they've been sat here for a while, I'm not going to be right in their way. A little bit of courtesy while you're on the water. There is nothing worse than someone sitting right up on your anchor line. It's completely slack tide. I'll just fish this one rod. I may stick another rod out. Just make sure that I'm not going to end up going back over my anchor rope, because it's slack. There's no wind, so we're sitting very stationary. But there is a little breeze and it's westerly, so if I've got an east run and it's slack tide and I've got my anchor down and my boat wants to drift round over the top of the anchor line, I can get caught up in my prop. So keeping an eye on it, make sure it's standing out nice and straight. And FYI, if you're the Orkney sat in a Solent today and you've got fucking bells on your rod and reeling in with them on, we have gone from about -3 this morning, bitterly cold, scraping ice off the boat and literally nearly unbearably cold, to absolutely live bait rod just did something. It's got to be 15-16 degrees. Oh, I've got a pair of long johns on, a pair of trackies, a pair of trousers, a pair of salopettes. Fucking cooking, man. That's the sort of bait I'm going for here. Big mackerel tail on a circle hook. Guys, we want one of them big congers. At the moment, I'm still getting away with like 6 to 8 ounce of lead. But when this tide starts picking up, I think we'll be back on the big leads. Doesn't help. There's a trawler going past me now, 300 yards away, but you probably can't hear it. At the moment, I can hear his gear resonating through the bottom of the boat. It's like an electrical noise where he's dragging along the bottom. If I can hear it coming through the hull of my boat, can you imagine how noisy it is down there for the fish? It's going to spook the fish out nicely. But he'll move through. He's working, he's trying to earn a living. Fair play. Doesn't help me though. Just another quick tip for you. While we're waiting for these bites to kick off, I'm just thinking of things to talk about with you. Another quick tip is this. In the days when you get your bait out of the freezer, it's normally frozen solid and hard to use. So all I do is I get a bit of salt water and put all of the squid and the fish baits into that. Then just keep the rest of it frozen in the corner. And then you'll only use what you need to for the day. Another boat just in the background here. I don't know what he's doing. Surely he's not going to stick the anchor in there.
Solent Warrior. Solent Warrior.
Do we get him? Yeah, we picked something up there. Something small. Oh, on the other line. Like that. It's exactly the size of whiting we want to take home. That's a decent size. If we could have a few of them, get them in that bucket of water. If we can get a few of them, I'll be very happy, because that means that we'll have a nice little catch and cook in the old kitchen. Over that's a nice. Over I'm reeling in this other rod, which I think I am. This could be a mess. Another whiting for our catch and cook. And this doesn't look too bad at all. There you go. Get it back over on that rough stuff. Right, just double check that size. What one was he? Smallest one so far. "32 centimetres. So we've got three little white in there. So just unless I pick out a big old one, they're going to stay in that bucket of water. What I can now do is upgrade. So I've got my feed here, but as I pick up fish that are bigger or worth keeping, one of them can go back. So they're going to sit in this pail of water down there. Big bucket of water in the live bait tank. They'll sit there while I fish for another 15-20 minutes or so, see if we can upgrade them. Well, we've got a feed. God, that line's doing me head in. And that marks the end out here. Let's get back in the kitchen. And we're in the kitchen. So we are going to do whiting fish tacos. I'll go through quickly the bits and bobs you're going to need to make this. Of course, you're going to need some whiting, but these are the bits you're going to need. So we're going to do a mango salsa. So we've got mango. You're going to need these to make your tacos. You're going to need avocado, tomato, red onion, some coriander, and some salsa chilies. And if you're a bit of a geezer, some slap your mama. This is what John, Mr. Lockhart, has got me brought back from the States. Now this is some Cajun seasoning, and it is unreal. If you haven't had it, find it. It's brilliant. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to fillet off the whiting. I'll get them out. I'll show you exactly how I do it. It's very, very easy. What I'll do is I'll show you with just one whiting. So, nice, fresh whiting. All I do is it's pretty much the same as every other fish. Go in behind the gills, and then I just pop in above the spine and start running that knife down the edge of the spine. You should be able to feel the bones, and you just tease that meat off the bone like that. Down to the tail. Once you get to that spine, I angle that knife in a little bit more and just come down the back edge towards the belly. Get to the rib cage. I generally leave the rib cage on, and I just cut through like that. That, look how white that meat is. That is your whiting fillet. Now, what I also will do, because we're going to be breadcrumbing these, is I come in about maybe an inch from the tail, just so I've got something to hold on to, until I've got that skin in my hand, and I just pull that meat, that skin back and forth like that, and that skins the fish. And then you are left with skinless whiting fillet. Now we've got that whiting all filleted off, that's gone back in the fridge to chill down again. And we're going to get on with this salsa. It is very easy. Chilies, mango, avocado, tomato, red onion. That's not a red onion. Red onion and a bit of coriander. Now, you don't need to see me. I'll do a little bit of chopping, but you don't need to see me chopping this all up. If you can't chop this up, you can't make this dish. I'll get this started. Yeah, let's get it going. That's that all chopped up. All you need is, I might put a bit more mango in this yet, I don't know. A little splash of olive oil just to bring that all together. Not much, little splash. There we go. And then you want a little bit of flaky salt just to season it all. That's it. That is your mango salsa. Give that a good stir. Oh, look at this, man. You wouldn't believe the smell that's coming out of this, even though this has just been cut. And that is your mango salsa ready to go. All I'm going to do is that needs to go, I'm going to cover it up with a bit of foil. That needs to go in the fridge for like half an hour. It just allows all them flavours to come together a little bit. It allows the chilli and all of that to seep in. Get that in the fridge for half an hour, and then I'll show you how to make your tacos. Right, the idea of this recipe is I had 1 or 2 comments on my previous catch and cook. Someone said, could you do us a catch and cook that we could do? Everyone can do these, the recipes I'm doing. It's so simple if you just follow how I'm doing it. But this is an easy one. So, soft tacos. You don't want soft though. So, what you need to do, get yourself an oven grate or whatever you want to call it. Just fold your taco like that and put them over the top like that so they hang down, and then pop them in the oven for like 5-10 minutes and they'll turn into hard shell proper tacos. They are in the oven. Next step is to start getting this whiting breaded, and we have got a treat for this one, I can tell you. So let me get these bits together. Now these are ridiculous size freezer bags. You don't need them this big, it's all I could get at the time. But what you want to do, get your first one and pour in some flour. Now, get your seasoning. I'm using Slap Your Mama. If I can open it, it says push to open. There we go. Right. So I'm getting Slap Your Mama occasion and getting a decent amount in there mixed with that flour. It's going to be a little bit spicy, this one. So we've got flour, Slap Your Mama, and then some flaky salt. Not much, because the seasoning will have flaky salt in it. Give that a good shake and a good mix up. And that is the first step. Second step is get another ridiculous size freezer bag. And I've got panko breadcrumbs here. get a decent amount of panko. You can make your own breadcrumbs if you want. It's pretty easy to do, but I'm a lazy bastard. So you've got your panko breadcrumbs in another bag. Now for the egg wash. Now your final step to breading these bits of white in is get yourself a bowl and crack 2 eggs into it. 1, 2 eggs. And give that a real good whisk. So we've got our white in here, and I'm just going to cut these into little chunks like that. Get all of that cut up. Lovely little chunks. There is a little bit of bones in a few of these, but because these whiting are quite small and delicate, the bones shouldn't be a problem at all. So if you're worried about bones, I mean, you can always debone these, but I don't worry with a fish this sort of size. Lovely little chunks. And then get your egg mix and just plop them all in. Just give them a little turn over in there. Right, the first step, so you've got your flour seasoning. So just let the excess come off of these and then pop them straight in the bag. This is the best way to do it for mess, because you're just going to get messy hands once while you're doing the egg mix. Once you've got them all in the bag, just give them a good shake. That is going to get the first bit of seasoning on, and they'll come out looking like this. Beautiful little things. And then what I'm actually going to do is just get the breadcrumbs into the same bag, because otherwise I've got to egg them again. Give that a good shake. You've got seasoned flour with slap your mama and breadcrumbs. I probably should have done that straight away, but you're going to get, look at this. Give them a good shake. Get it all stuck together, and they're ready for the fry. Right, the soft tacos have been in the oven for a little while. So now we should have hard shell tacos. There they are. So we've got all of our fish in here, and we've got our hard shell tacos now that are baked into beautiful little hard shells. The final step is get some cooking oil, get that piping hot, because this is going to be a flash fry. It needs to be quick, it needs to be, we don't want to overcook the whiting. Let's wait for this to heat up. The oil is hot enough now, so let's get a plate ready to go, because these are going to need to come out pretty quick. They're not going to take long to cook at all. We'll do these in little batches. The more fish you put in, the lower the oil heat gets. I think that's 2 stuck together, there you go. So that'll do for the first batch. Let that fry for a good 3 to 4 minutes, I would say, or until they're lovely and brown. What I will do is I'll just give them a little flip. Oh yeah, man. Oh, look at this. First batch ready. So they come out and onto a bit of kitchen roll to drain off. Because you don't want a shitload of oil inside your tacos. So they can come off and just drain on that. And then this second batch goes in. The smell that's coming off this is absolutely unreal. Turning what a lot of people call a trash fish into something absolutely delicious. Second batch, just get in there a second, have a look at that. This smell is unreal. Let's just get all of this on here. I can't believe how much fish has come from 3 little tiny whiting. Look at that. Right, well, word has got around and the smell of this fish has gone through Fairham and we've had people knocking the door. This is Will from Local Marks Fishing.
Hello guys, you're cooking, Dave?
Yes.
Is it ready?
Yes.
Wow.
Prepare yourself, mate.
Yeah, mate, I've heard of it.
Come here. This is Will from Local Marks Fishing. He is a very tall man by the looks of it. He is a local YouTube live feed blogger that is from the local Solent area. So if you haven't already seen it, go over to Local Marks Fishing. He is live every night. And if you want to just know what's being caught, or if you can't get out fishing and you want to watch a bit of fishing, that's the channel to watch.
Wow, that looks incredible.
Right, William.
Incredible.
Get your mouth around one of these.
Wow.
So let's get a spoon for this. Right, let's knock you up one of these.
Mate, really
I'll tell you
appreciate this. This is amazing. I've been wanting to taste your cooking for a very long time.
This is going to be messy because they've hardened quite a
they
bit.
crack.
Yeah, they're going to crack. So,
Wow.
you want a
Oh,
nice bit of
wow.
this mango salsa. Yeah, they've gone a little bit harder than what I kind of wanted actually.
Oh. Mate, that looks incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Right, there's one for you.
Mate,
You're
thank
going to need a
you
plate
so
under
much.
there.
Look at this, guys. Dave, incredible. Wow. Wow.
Let's get this one going. Oh, the smell is unreal.
So have you cooked these before?
No,
So this is going to be new to you as well?
this is new to me.
Wow.
I mean, I've cooked whiting before, of course, but
Yes, yes.
I've never made a whiting mango salsa.
Wow. Absolutely incredible.
There they go.
Bottoms up, Dave. Bottoms
Cheers,
up.
mate. Oh, that fish is delicious.
You'll have to give us a minute, Dave. Mm. Mm. Oh, wow. Man, those different flavours just keep hitting one after the other. They're still hitting now, different flavours and textures and taste.
These are a must.
Wow.
We're going to stuff our faces with these. If you like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. It's a massive help to the channel. It is completely free. The more subs we get, the more adventures we can go on, and the more delicious catch and cooks we can do. See you on the next one.